Hello viewers, we're back with this vintage Vornado fan. In this video we're going to see if we can free up the bearings because they are incredibly stiff. So, before we proceed, I want to go under here and screw this back into place so that the wires aren't continually flexing, because there's just nothing good that will come out of that. Okay, so now we're going to remove the front guard. Which I believe the two bottom ones have to come out first. Okay, there's that. And now the blade, I hope this just comes off of here, but I don't think it's going to. Oh yeah, that's not moving. And this is a plastic blade too, so you have to be very careful. You can't just bang it out with a puller or something, because, well, for one, there's nowhere to rest the puller, but it'll just shatter it if you're too aggressive with it. Now, interestingly enough, just from forcing it like that, it seems to have freed up a little bit. But it sounds terrible and is not as it should be, so it still needs to have something done to it. There's two screws there. Let's start with those. Okay, looks like it freed up a bolt in the back. Got the back mount coming off, and there's another set of bolts here. Something tells me this is going to be a thrill to get put back together. I have absolutely no idea how this splits apart here. I don't even know for certain that it does split apart. I certainly hope it does. Those are some dry bearings. See anything budging in here? I'm going to try removing the shroud here and see if that gives me any more access to anything else. Yeah, there's a spinning nut on the other side of that. How in the world does one undo that screw up at the top? There's no way you can do it that way. What in the world? That's baffling to me. I don't know how in the world you're supposed to get that off of there. Okay, I've got the motor out, and there's a set screw in here, which, although I highly doubt undoing that is going to make this come off, excuse me, that's probably not going to help the cause to have it on there. So let's see if I can get this to loosen. It actually loosened quite easily. Wow, it actually came off. I was not expecting that. Alright, well now that that's off, hopefully we can kind of bang the motor apart now. Looks like the shaft wants to come with it, so I'm going to go ahead and clean the shaft off the best I can. And we'll see if that shaft will go all the way through there. The shaft is surprisingly clean. Actually went most of the way through. I don't quite understand what it's stuck on though. There we go. Well, this is actually in satisfactory condition. There is something weird going on with that rear bearing though. It does not want to come out of there. And I think it really needs to because it looks totally jacked up. Okay. I don't know why it wasn't coming out of there. Interesting. Well, anyways, bearings are out, or the shaft is out. Now we can go ahead and clean this up. This is a heavy rotor. These are not made like this anymore. This is very good quality. So, yeah, at this point it's just a pretty standard bearing cleanup situation. So we're going to use some detergent oil to clean this. This is the non-Fian oil. This is just for cleaning purposes. once we've got this all cleaned up, we'll go ahead and lubricate it correctly with the right kind of oil for fans. Okay, we're just about wrapping up the cleaning of the shaft and the bearings. These were all locked completely. Now it's spinning a little, well, actually it's spinning very freely. I think these could use a little more cleaning, so I'm going to go over these one more time. And then we're going to put some fan oil in and put it back together. Okay, so this is all cleaned up. Now I know why the bearings weren't working. That was very, very dirty. A lot of solidified oil in there. It's possible that at some point along the road somebody put detergent oil in the fan. So we're going to put oil for fans in there. For fans. I'm going to put it all along all these washers and everything because I don't know how much of this rotates, but I believe all these washers probably, well, now they're all on the floor, but they should have the freedom to spin. Oh, this is just fantastic. How did it lose any of them? Oh, look at that. It's been nice and freely now. This should definitely run dramatically better than it was. Or, well, it wasn't really running at all, so yeah. I know there's a lot of dust in here. I'm not going to go through this whole thing and clean it today. I just want to put it back together and make sure it's going to work. And then if I can guarantee that the motor is running healthily and it's going to work, then I will go back through when I have more time some other day and take everything apart and thoroughly clean everything up. For now, I just want to get it to a point where it's going to run and we can verify its functionality. Alright. Oh, look at that. Look at that spin down time. So that's a good motor. You don't even have to bang the shaft and it's already aligned and ready to go. It's a quality piece. Very, very good quality piece. Alright, I'm going to put the blade back on. Which needs to be cleaned dramatically. Put the blade on and then mount the motor back in place and we'll give it a test run. And I suspect it's going to really whip some air around now. Now the bearings can actually spin. Look at that spin down time. You know what's really a shame is a lot of people would throw this thing out because it doesn't run. You know what it needs is maybe a half an hour of relatively simple service. Okay, we're ready to test. Bearings are spinning freely. Got the kilowatt meter out again, so we'll compare what the draw was initially versus what it is now. Let's see if I can grab a rating off of here. This is rated at 75 watts. Now keep in mind this is rated for 110 to 115. So the draw is going to be a little more than that, even if it's healthy. So, let's go ahead and crank this up here. We're at 119 volts, going over to watts, and we'll start off on low. Drawing 55 watts. We are throwing a ton of air. And it's pretty quiet too. It's a little bit of rattling because the rear air funnel is not secured in any way. Let's go to full power. And it's drawing 74 watts. So it's 1 watt off spec. I have no reason to believe there's anything wrong with that motor whatsoever. You know what amazes me about these fans is how quiet they are. This is really not even at speech level, and it's blowing an insane amount of air. Still 74 watts, everything seems fine in that respect. 53 watts. I think it was 54 before, I don't remember. And spin down. Say Vornado puts themselves to shame with their current product line after using this thing. That's not even in the direct path of the fan. Incredible. Well, this is going to turn out to be a great restoration project. Normally I don't repaint things. I just kind of like the natural look of it, of how it deteriorated over the years. You know, I'm definitely going to clean it up, and I could probably get it looking a lot better than it is. But if somebody could tell me where I can find a comparable shade of paint, maybe I'll repaint this, just because it runs so nice. But anyways, that's it for this one. I know the motor, I put it up on upside down or whatever. I just wanted to put it back together for a test. Now that I know it runs beautifully, next time I have a couple of hours to set aside for this, I will go through and take everything apart and clean everything.